And the game that I'm going to show you is called Roadblock. Roadblock is a game for 2 players. It's played on a graph with n vertices where the edges are colored. And coloring, well, in a way, it's similar to Shortest Tour. So in Shortest Tour or Traveling Salesman, each edge had a number or distance assigned to it. And here, each edge has a color. So you can have red edges, blue edges, yellow edges, any number of colors that you desire. And each edge has exactly one of those colors. Now, some of the vertices also have a label. Some of the vertices have a label that says player 1 wins, and others have a label that says player 2 wins. So the situation might look something like this. So here's the graph with n vertices, in this case 11 vertices. The edges are colored, either red, purple, or blue. And some of the vertices are labeled. Here we have the 2 vertices that say player 1 wins. And here we have 2 vertices that say player 2 wins. So what are the rules of the game? Both player 1 and player 2 start out with a number of playing pieces that are also specified in the beginning. So each player has a number of pieces at specified vertices. So in this example I'm drawing here, it might look something like this. So player 2 might have a piece here. Player 1 might have a piece here. Player 2 gets another piece down here. And player 1 gets another piece up here. So player 1 starts playing, then player 2 moves, then again player 1. So they play in turns. And here are the rules of the game. In any turn, you can take one of your pieces and move it along the edges of the graph, but you can only move your piece along edges that have the same color. So you can choose the color, but you must stay on that color. So for example, player 1 could move this piece here, either to this vertex down here, or this one down here, or this one over here. That would all be fine. Player 2 here, for example, could even travel 2 edges in one turn, or 3 edges, so 1, 2, 3, because they're all red. But what player 2 could not do is travel 1, 2, 3, because then the color of the edges would change along which player 2 travels. Each time you have a move, you can change your color, but not during a move. And there is a second rule, and that is you cannot jump over other pieces. So player 1 here, for example, cannot travel along these red edges here because player 2 has a piece here. And that is why it's basically called roadblock, because player 2 is blocking this road here for player 1. But of course, player 1 could go here or here. How do you win this game? That is very simple. Player 1 wins the game if player 1 manages to place one of his or her pieces on a vertex that says player 1 wins. And player 2, likewise, wins when player 2 places his or her pieces on one of the vertices that say player 2 wins. It can be any graph, any combination of labels of the vertices, any edges, any color combinations of the edges. So you're given this configuration here as an input. The question is, can player 1 always win? Or in other words, can player 1 force a win? And what I mean by that is player 1 being able to force a win means that no matter how smart player 2 plays, what moves he or she makes, how intelligent and whatnot, player 1 will always be able to make moves that will allow player 1 to win. So given this graph up here, can player 1 always win?